We've seen some cool new deck lists and a very, very exciting one I've just got sent like half an hour ago from the previously mentioned Marc-Eric Vogt, and he's here brewing again. Yeah, you need to be resilient, or you need to be able to fetch yourself another resource.
Okay, this is, I think, one of the gold standards that we have reached now with Legacy. And I like this idea from Marc.
Last year, I think he was on like 80 cards, control, enchantress.
Yeah.
But this time of the year, he's onto something really, really exciting.
Welcome to In Response, a Legacy podcast. Whether you're a dedicated player or just curious about Legacy, join us as we share ideas, discuss decks, and have some fun along the way.
Hey Daniel, I'm very, very excited because this week I get to play twice Paper Magic. Tomorrow Pre-Modern, but most excitedly on Friday, the new season starts for the Austrian Legacy League. How excited are you?
I am super excited, and not only I have to say, mostly excited that you get to play twice. It must have been a new record now that you have 1 full week of, well, not 1 full week, but 2 events already in 1 week that you play Legacy. Very cool. And for the new seasons, obviously very nice. Season X1, so season 11 starts, yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for season Xi, as you are there to defend your title. But more excitedly, I get to crown you on Friday.
Yeah, we have been postponing this for a little while now, but finally we get to have our top 10 being awarded with our prizes from season 10. And I was the winner. Yeah, I'm happy that I can get my trophy now and get my prizes.
I mean, you have the trophy at your place, but to receive the trophy, I would say.
To officially get it, yeah.
But more excitingly, with a new season, it's more or less the same people with a few new faces, normally for our community. But we may see a few new decks, a few new abbreviations of decks. So,
yeah. Maybe just to add to this, this is maybe at this point a very important one, because we now enter the season 11 competitive area again of our Austrian Legacy League. And the second thing is that we are approaching Eternal Weekend.
Yeah.
And it's happening soon. We have now September, and in two months roundabout, the biggest event of the Legacy whole, let's say, universe, small little universe will take place. And this is a good combination that people try out and, get a little bit more serious in testing, I would say.
Yeah, as we've had last year a few episodes about how to prepare yourself for an Eternal Weekend or any big tournament. We said, lock in your deck at least a month before the tournament to see where everything will drive you, because then you know their matchups well. And so most importantly, because in contrast to myself, you will play in Eternal Weekend. Yeah, and have you locked in your deck already?
Yeah, and there's a big reason for that, and I can give a small little shout out. I will prepare with a small team, actually. I will have like a small preparation phase now in the next 2 months, together with a good friend, Eka Baronen, Andreas Peterson. We had a nice, really cool interview, I would say.
Episode 100.
Exactly. And he helps a couple of guys, and he makes he has made a US testing team, and now he's doing the same for the Europe part to cover both Eternal Weekends. And I will be part of that. And this is probably the most serious testing that I ever did for an event like this. I'm half scared, half excited, of course. And I have locked my deck for now, for sure, yes. Which is, at this moment, it is Reanimator. As the, obviously, give you the numbers.
Yeah, switching away from Blue Black Tempo.
Yeah, I was convinced I I was convinced at the ELM actually that tempo is great, but I found that if you compare it to online, and Eternal Weekend is a paper legacy event, online you have a bigger share of unfair decks, and in paper there's still, you notice it, that people bring slightly fairer decks and a little bit more pet decks. So I think I encountered more Nadu decks, more lands, more depths, and so stuff like this, which is something that I'm not super happy to face with tempo. But Reanimator has the 1-2 punch, and I think on average I like this more, given my current expectation for the metagame.
Yeah, especially since like in paper, you are much more likely to keep a very, very distinct hand for game 2 or game 3 against Blue-Black Reanimator, where you say, okay, I have to keep because I have the Force of Will in there. The hand only does a little bit, but yeah, I need to have the force to counteract my opponent going for turn 1 and 2 and turn 2 reanimate. But then your opponent boarded in a little bit more fairly, and then you get just got because you only kept the hand in the face of a Force of Will.
And that's why I want to give it a try now, and really go for in-depth testing for that and see how it goes in the next couple of weeks. Obviously, there's like a little chance that it gets emergency banned just before the event. But yeah, I'll need to plan for a fallback option in that case.
Yeah, because when this one happens, we just have Rodeo and Legacy, and everything will changes up. I think that the first deck, the first key card that we will talk about in the next section, has something to do with it, because I think Nado decks will have the biggest target on the back after a reanimation ban.
It's surprisingly good in paper, yeah. I think it's in paper. We saw it in the ELM. A lot of Nado decks in the top 8 and performed very well.
Yeah, I think there were also there was the Steel City Spectacular or something like that. There were also 3 Nado decks in the top 8. Yeah. So it's really happening for Nado, and I'm really happy for Johan Larsen as he won the ELM.
Yes.
With breakfast, but you said you really wanted to talk about it because there it has some change happening.
A little bit, yeah. Influenced by now recently, I would say I kind of made a little hiatus, I would say, maybe from Magic or Legacy in particular. We didn't really see much of him, but it's also a good friend of ours, Marc-Eric Vogt. He tried out Legacy again, and he took the idea he took the breakfast list from Larsen, and this list already had 2 copies of Tamio inside, but he went then for a version with the full playset in the main deck, and it looks very, very, very strong. I have to say, I really loved this version when I first got to see it, and immediately made like a 5-0 league with it, and a couple of other players are now trying it out. We have Angelo Cadai, also had made a 5-0 league, I think, with that, and Larsen himself, he also tested it now. I have to say, Tamio has been on discussion, at least from our side, for a long time ago.
Yeah.
I think is such a potent card, and it makes sense to have the full playset.
Yeah, Tamio is just insane. A lot of podcasts already said it. It's currently the card that turns or is the center of the format a little bit, because Tamio is so impactful. It's a very, very, very good plan B for a Blue-Black Reanimator.
Yes.
It's a 1-drop that you really have to interact with. Its plus ability is great at stalling and neglecting small decks with smaller creatures. Its minus ability, the first one, is basically a card advantage engine in itself, and the ultimate is a win condition. It's like everything Defra could have dreamed of to be.
Yeah, I mean, yes, no, of course. But yeah, I think on a power level wise, relatively compared at least to what else is going on, yeah, I can see what you mean here. Yeah, it is a must answer threat that comes down on turn 1 and can win the game. This is absolutely potent.
And for example, nowadays, some blue decks are now incorporating minor misstep instead of like a previously card would have been maybe a spell piece or something like that.
Yeah.
Because like the 1-drops are currently really, really impactful in.
It's also like chess guy decks that like control decks that
Jet Wizards, for example.
Yeah. I can see that as well. It revolves a lot on 1-drops. I think the biggest reason still is Entomb and Reanimate to have minor misstep. But it makes sense. A lot of potent and really amazing cards that you need to answer in a short period of time, very early and consistently is 1-drops at the moment.
So keep your Wrath of the Skies, for example, ready. But and control is nowhere to be seen because of like it's unfavorably with Nado to trade. It's just a tad too slow here and there, but we've seen some cool new deck lists, and a very, very exciting one I've just got sent like half an hour ago from the previously mentioned Marc-Eric Vogt, and he's here brewing again. Last year I think he was on like 80 cards control Enchantress, but this time of the year he's onto something really, really exciting, because like on the one hand, we have a lot of cloud post strategies, for example, that incorporated nowadays Planar Nexus and Urza's Tower as additional cards to accelerate yourself. And
also like in the Mystic Forge deck, for example, is pretty fixed mana base now.
Yeah, it's a really, really niche combo, the two cards. And he thought himself, I take the mana acceleration, and I also take Nado, Tamios, Shukos, and he's playing himself. Basically, I said it, colorless Nado. He's playing with Khan the Great Creator, he's playing the Mycosymphylitis in the sideboard, another Shuko in the sideboard to get with your Khan, with Cavern of Souls and Ponder Forces. It's really, really exciting to see.
Okay, so like a Mystic Forge version with Ponder, like a blue splash for all the blue cards?
He's having a few fetch lands. He's playing Tropical Islands. Island. He's also playing one of the Otawara, for example. He's playing 2 Urza Saga to fetch also another Shuko. And he's playing like Force of Will, 2 Force of Negation in the main deck. He's playing also Kozilek's Command. The blue threats. And then Khan for the win condition from the sideboard. You were going for the Lattice. It's really, really exciting. And if I haven't said it, Cavern of Souls, for example, to power out your wizards uncounterable.
Cavern is a really good friend of Nado. Absolutely. And I'm wondering, of course, on the blue count and the stretch of the colorless mana that you need and the blue count. But of course, this is, I guess, a deck that nobody would expect when you face it. That like you have a cloud post kind of deck, or let's say
he's not playing any post lands.
Then we maybe can call it like a Forge or like a Tron version. I don't know what I've colorless mud, whatever. And suddenly your cards get forced. This is of course new.
It's really, really exciting, because on the one hand you can go for your turn 2 Khan, for example. And on turn 3, you drop Nado Shuko. Would be nice.
It's all about the duking, right? So if you have a singular strategy, likely it's not going to be good enough, because people can target though and with some hate cards, and specifically for Nado, for example, it's removal and counters, absolutely. And you need some kind of plan B in any deck, actually. to be feasible in this meta game. This is, I think, one of the gold standards that we have reached now with Legacy, and all-in decks that, something like Oops maybe, either also have a juke sideboarding plan, and or have enough like say tools to play around the interaction. But usually if you think about Dredge, for example, it's non-existing because it doesn't have a solid plan B.
Yeah, you need to be resilient, or you need to be able to fetch yourself another resource.
Yeah.
And it's sometimes it can happen for such decks, but usually you need a secondary game plan.
And I like this idea from Mark that incorporates, the idea is not really to have another deck, and but a control deck or like a blue deck can be another deck. If you think about the banned Nado version, it could just play this. But Shuko and getting consistent enablers for Nado is important with Ursus Saga and Karn. And second is the Karn is very good against Mystic Forge by nature, for example, as well. And the third one would be Kozilek's Command, which is a main deck Graveyard Hate against Reanimator.
He's also playing the one of Soul God Lantern, for example. But I really feel like it incorporates a few of those things, because like as I said, Karn not only great against Mystic Forge, I also kind of like Karn against the other Tamio decks.
Yeah.
Because it allows Tamio to not really pressure you, because the
you can
the tokens doesn't really matter. I mean, if it ults, it's ults, then you have to do something against it. But usually with a Karn, you can get the Piffing Needle, get the Force out, something like that.
It's useful, if you disregard Brainstorm Ponder and you have an unflipped Tamio, then the clues you cannot capitalize on.
But I'm pretty excited to see it. He texted me, went 4-1, but lost to himself, or he played badly the last match. But I'm really excited to see it for the first time in a 5-0 deck dump.
But I have to see the deck list first, but I imagine the kryptonite of this deck is Blood Moon. Yeah, it looks like.
I mean, he is playing some basics.
Yeah. Is it an 80 card version or just 60?
No, 60. And one thing for consistency reason, he's playing for Once Upon a Time.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
And for sure, Ponder, I'm not sure about Brainstorm.
Okay, interesting.
But we have to see the deck in action.
Yeah.
There is on his Twitter account, there is one screenshot. So really, really excited to see it. But to go for a more common list that we may encounter in our new Legacy season, it's Mystic Forge. It's currently on the rise since Tezzeret got incorporated in the deck. And it seems again it's the deck to stay after its hiatus from last year's Eternal Weekend.
Yeah. It is increasingly getting new tools, and especially with this Tezzeret, to be able to play around interaction. Nalrod is one very strong card that a lot of reanimated decks, blue-black tempo predominantly, are using to combat this deck. But just on Nalrod is not really enough anymore. With Karn involved, the new Tezzeret is a huge factor. It is a built-in key effect, and also an alternative win con when there is a Nalrod on the battlefield, because you basically can generate all constructs kind of thing. I mean, I think it makes 3/3 from artifacts.
Yeah, once per turn it makes 3/3 out of an artifact, but it still wins through a Nalrod.
It wins, exactly, and all the useless artifacts can just be turned into 3/3 and then attack. And this Ursa Saga search effect that it also has is super useful, right? You can get another key, Candelabra if you need it. You can get the Soulgan Lantern against the Reanimator if you need it, or Pithing Needle for opposing anything. whatever you want, maybe Wasteland or so. It's very strong, I have to say. And
yeah, it's really, really exciting to see the deck rise again, especially since it's coming up to the time of Eternal Weekend. But the one thing I have to say about the deck, it's kind of really, really hard for any controller counter strategies actually to play against the deck, because not only because like previously you had to force only 12 cards that they can resolve, which were like the One Ring, Khan, and Mystic Forge.
Yeah.
And nowadays you also have to add in Tesseract. I think it's usually those 4 cards have like 14, 15 copies, not the full 16. So you have like 14 to 15 must answer cards that your opponent can drop on between turn 1 and turn 3 usually. So it's getting pretty hard to stay on any Force of Will shenanigans against the deck. So it doesn't really matter that the bauble got banned back in the day.
Not really, yeah. Kind of, funnily enough, not really, yeah. I mean, bauble is, of course, very much saying no to counter spells, obviously. But the other way around, it's just so versatile and powerful on its own that you need to answer them. Absolutely. You cannot resolve a Karn without or you win the next turn or something like that. But Karn and Tesseract now cannot stay.
For example, in your Bluebird Reanimator deck, how many consignment memory, for example, is in yours?
Yeah.
Or are in your sideboard?
Since the Eldrazi ban, of course, it dropped down quite a bit, but it always remained in the level of, I would say, a good number would be 2. That was the case for sure in the summer. But going now into the fall, into the rise a little buff of the Mystic Forge. And also Eldrazi itself, you see more often now. I think you can justify 3 copies as well again. It is versatile. It covers Tassel decks as well. Even though you would not really have it against the breakfast version, because you would focus on removal spells mostly. But Karn and Mystic Forge and Eldrazi are very good reasons to have 2 to 3 in that range.
Yeah, completely.
I think 2 is really its minimum, I would say.
Yeah, I'm currently playing 3, for example, in my control-ish deck.
Makes sense, yeah. You don't have like a win con that a combo, and you need the interaction against Mystic Forge.
You for sure have to keep up every counterspell available up. Yeah, from turn 1, because like Soul Land, Grim Monolith Key into 4-drop is nothing that uncommon actually.
No, yeah, it happens.
But yeah, it's something like a little bit worrying when you're playing on counters against Mystic Forge. But on the other hand, there is something that got ported from Modern to Legacy, and Philipp is really excited for it. And it really needed a long time for the port to really successfully happen. And we're talking about Ocelot Pride decks in Legacy. And these are exactly the decks that you typically see at locals, I would say.
Yeah, it's pretty popular in paper for sure. It's not too bad online as well. It has really been proven that the combination of Ocelot Pride, God of Souls, Ajani, Emperor Raptor, this little energy theme that is ongoing, it is very strong in Modern. For sure, it's the best deck, I think. And
thanks.
Yeah. And in Legacy now, combined with, we have very strong interaction with Thoughtseize, we have Souls to Plowshares, you have Parablast in the sideboard if you need them. Couple of Therapy also has extra interaction against with all your tokens that you generate. If you are opting for any fair strategy, I think you have a hard time against this deck. With Tempo, I feel really an underdog actually. It's also one reason why I like Reanimator there more. I'm not sure how many graveyard hates they have.
I'm unsure. I don't think they play any real in the main deck.
Yeah.
But yeah, otherwise they have like Swords to Plowshares as an answer. And one of the best remove spells, kinda, I want to say that we have here is like Static Prison. This card is insane in this deck.
Yeah. Energy is just around forever, basically. Yeah. You get it. Especially God of Souls is very strong in fueling energy for you. And this is just a 1 mana exile any non-land permanent, right?
I think so, yeah.
It's crazy. And you also get 2 energy upon entering the battlefield. I mean,
so you keep it exiled for at least 3 turns.
Yes.
So it's really, really good.
Yeah.
And when I tested my control brew, I played on X-Mage. And like every third game or so was against Mardu Energy. And this matchup actually showed me my deck lacked severely against multiple threats on the board. Not only against like Mardu Energy, but also to other decks. And this deck is the sole reason for a Supreme Verdict in my deck list, for example. And I'm really, really excited for having Mardu Energy or even Boros Energy, because like in Mardu you're also playing how's it called? Bowmasters, I think.
Bowmaster, yeah, that's true.
Mostly Bowmasters and Thoughtseize, I think.
Bowmasters, Thoughtseize, and Cabal Therapy. For more interaction against the combo decks that you need. And then you jam the board with all your valuable threats and it's basically a much more improved version of kind of a Chunt deck somehow. Thoughtseize as interaction, very good removal, and then value creatures somehow. And all combined. And with white and the best removal color, good start. And also the creatures are fairly cheap, right? So they only cost 1 or 2 mana, mostly.
Yeah, Guide of Souls into what's it called? The Ocelot Pride into maybe another thing. It's insane how much pressure this one can do.
Yeah.
And especially if you're amp trapped, if the amp trapper flips like a Bowmaster or something like that, you have from one moment to the other so much more power on the board. It's really, really exciting to have a new like niche of decks in the format with various different strengths and weaknesses. As you said, like the Mardu version, much more interaction with the opponent's hands should be really, really good against combo decks, for example. On the other hand, with the white-red one, much more flexible, I want to say, a little more straightforward and should go over the top. And there's also like the new mono-white WOP deck that's flying a little bit under the radar, but there are also already some 5.0s being posted.
Some there's more like let's say the closest version to a 60 card Death and Texas somehow, because the black-white Texas that is also being played in Legacy is a Urian version. And this is just mono-white with all, Failure, Talia a little bit. And of course, Solitude, Witch Enchanter and stuff like this. So a lot of, very the best white creatures that you can find. White creature, trait binder, whatever.
Yeah.
Yes. And it also includes, of course, the Ocelot and the God of Souls and the Pride Mage.
I've even heard there was like a version out there that played, because there is one of the warp creatures that can 2-up a 1-drop. There was a version out there that played a 1-drop that you can tap to create a 4/4 flying vigilance. I think basically a Sarah Angel, if you have like 27 or more life. So it was basically a kind of Soul Sisters version, and it's
that's funny. That's funny.
Because like, do you know what one of my favorite modern decks back in the day was?
How was it called? Like Mardu Proc or something like that?
It was actually Mardu Proc, because this one was my version where I played Mardu colors with how's it called? The
one
Magus of the Moon. and Lightning Helixes. But yeah, it was Mate Proc, basically a live game.
Yeah.
And yeah, pretty exciting to see live game in Legacy now, because when I play Paint, I can totally ignore it.
You know what also has live game? Atraxa.
And it's also white.
It's also white, yeah. Yeah, Atraxa still is around for a little bit of time, I would say.
Yeah, it's still in the format.
Yeah.
And it won't leave until it has to. But yeah, we will see what happens after Eternal Weekend. Up until then, we just keep focus.
Exactly.
But now I'm really excited to talk about, I think, the last deck for today. This is actually the deck that I will play on this Friday.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's Mono Blue Cloudpost. It's really cool.
Does it actually have the Cloudpost in it?
Yeah.
Or is it okay? So it's not Painter or 8 cast.
No.
You saw?
You play the 8. You play the full 8 posts. Post lands. You play the 4 planar nexus. You play the 4. What's this tower?
Yeah.
You're playing a few islands and an Otawara.
Why are you excited? Why are you going for this deck? Maybe this is what I'm wondering.
Because I really like slowish decks and controlling decks. And one of the decks that I always wanted to play but never got to back in the days in Modern was Mono Blue Tron. And this one, because when I started with basically Magic, I was at the first time for a full half or a full year a modern player before transitioning back to or into Legacy. And Mono Blue Tron was always kind of the thing that's really exciting, because I think there was like a 50 or 100 page primer for the deck, because it's so complicated.
Yeah, you had so many lines, right? That you could go with your
synchronized and stuff like that. It's
what didn't even play teachings?
Or it could be
something that you could stood there for a lot of your spells, and it had the lock with the helm, the time lock, whatever.
How is it called? The Mindslaver lock.
Mindslaver lock, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just really sweet. But now in Legacy, a few players that I kind of respect is like Marcus Ewald, for example, has now switched to Mono Blue Cloudpost, and he has driven the development a little bit forward, and he's playing specifically a shell now that is also playing the Thunder Trap Trainer, for example.
Interesting, yeah.
And with Thunder Trap Trainer, you gain a lot of card advantage. You have the forces in there. So you really have a lot of durability. You gain your card advantage. You have the cards in there. You are also playing the 7-mana, not Urza, how's it called?
The Ugin. The
Ugin.
Yes, yeah.
Playing your Kozilek's commands. You have your removal, your ramp, your Graveyard Hate. And you're using all of the advantages that like Green Cloudpost has, except for a little bit of consistency in some variation.
Yeah.
But you're playing it now in the blue version with much better card advantage. You're playing your stock ups. You have your how's it called, the Lorne revealed for mana consistency to get consistent to your sources.
And I guess you have forces as well, right?
You have forces as well.
Yeah.
So you have a lot of
you can
answers,
interact with your opponent, basically, yeah.
Or you can interaction.
Yeah.
And it's just sweet.
Just more consistency, counter magic and value, as opposed to tutor effects with crop rotation, for example, that you have with the utility lands.
Where you can switch up your land drops and stuff like that. And for sure it also plays like the One Ring.
And is it, what kind of graveyard hate does it have? Because I guess you have some...
your Kozilek's commands.
Okay, this is also 4-off.
It's a 4-off. I think that's it for the main deck.
Maybe a skill guide or something like that.
Yeah, you have to can to get something from
yeah. Okay. Or the Saga, right?
I'm unsure, but it could be.
Yeah.
But I don't think so because we don't really have the space for it. But there is also now a new list running around that I really don't hope that it overtakes the first one. And this is the one that plays Jealous of the Void, because it's like,
Okay, yeah.
it's a little bit of a no-brainer because it's like one of the best cards that you can play against all the low-to-the-ground decks like we have in Blue-Black Tempo, Blue-Black Reanimator, the previously talked Ocelot Pride decks, the Nado decks, the Breakfast decks, like a Jealous on 1 or afterwards a Jealous on 2 is like so impactful.
Yes. Yeah.
So I really, really hope that the other one is still great.
So you can still play the other version.
I will play the other version because I really want to see Thundertrap Trainer.
Yeah. Thundertrap Trainer is a nice card. Also famously played in Jeskai Wizards, for example.
Yeah, and with Thundertrap Trainer and Cloud Post, you easily have the 6 mana to offspring your token.
Value.
Yeah, value. Getting the sweet 4 for 1.
Yeah, this will be exciting. I'm looking forward to that if you're gonna jam that. Yeah, sure.
So, Daniel, are you excited for something else in Legacy, or just like I really hope to get it right on Friday?
I also had a little bit of a break, like, to be honest, but now I'm for sure excited to get into the deep dive for Reanimator, actually. Yeah, so the league starts, so this is exciting. This is a lot of movement going on for that. We reactivate our community from the summer break. All this preparing for Eternal Weekend. So a lot is also ongoing online in overall Legacy community.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to the next couple of months, for Eternal Weekend as well. Will be very, very nice, and hopefully, well, pretty sure it will be an amazing event that will happen in Italy.
Yeah, I'm really, really excited to watch it from home. But yeah, I wish you all the best, and see you soon.
Great.